Hey besties, it's your girl So Sweet Nikki, and welcome to The Fine Print, where we break down the headlines, the relationships, the systems, and the stories, and talk about what they forget to tell you. Because everything sounds good on the surface, until you read the fine print. And today, we're starting with mine. Let's talk about the fine print of being a prison wife. When you say those words out loud, my husband is in prison. The room changes. People don't even try to hide it. Their eyes shift, their tone softens or hardens. They either pity you or judge you. But either way, they decide who you are in that moment. They assume you're naive. They assume you're stuck. They assume you're being manipulated. They assume you just don't see what they see. And what's wild is none of them were there when you made your choice. Being a prison wife is living in a world where everyone thinks they understand your story, but nobody knows the chapters that led up to it. They don't see the late night phone calls. They don't see you watching the clock. They don't see you budgeting minutes. They don't see you trying to be strong on a bad day because you know the person on the other end needs your strength more than you need to fall apart. They don't see the visits, the long drives, the waiting rooms, the security checks, the way your heart beats a little faster when you finally see him walk into that room. They don't see how hard it is to leave, how quiet the car feels after, how heavy the air gets when you're alone. Let that breathe. And here's the part nobody prepares you for. You don't just marry a person, you marry a system. You marry policies, you marry distance, you marry restrictions, you marry uncertainty. You learn words you never thought you'd need to know. You learn how the justice system moves. You learn that punishment doesn't just stop at one person. When someone is sentenced, their partner is quietly sentenced too. That's the fine print. For me, moving to Louisiana wasn't just packing up my life. It was started over in a place where I didn't know anyone, building stability while everything felt unstable, smiling in public while carrying something heavy in private. People love to say they would never stay. They would never move. They would never choose this. And that's okay. Life is not for everyone. But what people don't understand is loyalty isn't always convenient. It isn't glamorous. It isn't Instagram worthy. It isn't easy to explain at dinner parties. Loyalty is expensive. It costs comfort. It costs approval. It costs the version of yourself that wants life to be simple. There are days you question everything. There are days you're tired of defending your heart, tired of feeling like you have to justify why you love who you love, tired of the whispers, tired of the unsolicited advice. And then there are days when you remember why you chose. And that part is sacred. The private conversations, the growth, the accountability, the humanity, the parts of your relationship that public never sees. People reduce prison wives to a stereotype, but they don't see the strength it takes to hold your life together while someone you love is rebuilding theirs. They don't see the emotional weight of carrying hope in a system designed to strip it away. They don't see the resilience, and maybe that's why I'm here. Not to convince anyone, not to argue, not to debate, but to read the fine print out loud. Because the fine print of being a prison wife isn't weakness. It's complexity, it's sacrifice, it's growth, it's loneliness, it's loyalty, it's learning who you are when the world questions your choices. And here's the truth. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to understand my decision, but you also don't get to simplify it. If you ever loved someone the world judged, if you've ever stayed when people thought you should leave, if you've never felt misunderstood for your loyalty, I see you. And besties, this is just the beginning. Welcome to The Fine Print.